next? Life and Politics with Chuck Hobbs. I'm joined, as usual, with Eric Eggers, Sierra Taylor, Zach Ward, Liz Ritchie, and Cedric Jones. For over 100 years, Boy Scouts of America and Scouting Worldwide, since its founding by Lord Robert Baden-Powell, has served to help a number of young boys in their maturation into manhood, teaching a lot of timeless concepts, thrift, reverence, being able to have essentially morality in your decision making and the things that you do. I myself was a member of the Scouts as a young boy. I got out around 7th grade, and so I never was able to make it the Eagle Scout, but I still definitely remember many of those concepts that were taught to us early on. And this past week, very crucial decision that's coming down where they are considering, now it hasn't been finalized, but they are strongly considering finally allowing homosexual troop leaders, pack leaders, as well as openly homosexual boys to join the Scouts. That's something that has been fought for the longest time. Eric?
Yeah, well, first I think we should acknowledge the irony of a group that doesn't allow homosexuals, but for years has taught young men how to make napkin holders, right? So, I mean, we've got to deal with that at first. But in all seriousness, I think parents have to really, I understand and empathize with the group of people that is maybe not super excited about this, because if you're a parent, you want your kid to be exposed to values that you agree with. And even though we're in the year 2013, there's a lot of parents that probably would prefer the child not to grow up and become a homosexual, or really be exposed to them. And I think that that's where I see the primary source of frustration coming from, right? You got parents who love all the values that you say the Scouts represent, but here comes this new value that seems contrary to that. And so I think that's where you see most of the dynamic of conflict emerging.
Cedric, I have to ask you this question. I want to throw this way. Do homosexuals not have some of the same values that heterosexuals have? Somebody help me understand that.
It depends on where you look at this. I mean, are you coming from a spiritual background where you think that homosexuality is just bad, period? Or are you saying that a homosexual will teach degraded values like, I don't know, theft, sexual orientation, or whatever? The person in general knows what a morality standard is. So if you got a person, and if you have a person in charge of a kid, I would hope, whether they're homosexual, heterosexual, asexual, whatever, I would hope that they would teach the kid just regular values, period. Right? Because you're not going to go around, a troop leader shouldn't be going around and talking about their sexual preference anyway.
But I have to
that's
ask,
not even responsible.
That's a good point, but I have to ask, Sierra, when you think about the fact that there have been lawsuits over the years with Scout leaders, even molesting young boys, not much different than the Catholic Church, do you think that we're at a point now where we've been fooling ourselves all along, and that by issuing this order that perhaps finally people can come out of the shadows, so to speak, since they're already there in the first place?
I don't think that molestation of little boys and being openly gay is synonymous. I think that, whether you're gay or you're straight and you're molesting children, that's an issue. And I don't believe that all, gay people are molesting children. I don't think the children are in danger because, they're in an environment with an openly gay person. I think that, Boy Scouts, just like Girl Scouts and these other organizations, are here to teach children to become mature adults in the real world. We're in 2013. We should be accepting of gay people at this point. This is the real world. This is the world in which we live in, We're electing, Congress people and senators and who are openly gay into our capitals, and so why not have, if you're looking up to these people to make your laws, why can't your children look up to these people to, be adults?
Zach, you're a father of 2 young boys.
My oldest is in Scouts.
Okay, very good. And so I definitely want your perspective, but I want to ask you this. When you consider the fact that nowadays many young boys don't have a father at home like you, and scouting, for all essential purposes, sometimes serves as being the one male figure that some of these young boys are around, do you think that the fact that if you are able to keep young boys potentially away from good leaders, even if it's a homosexual male who is a respectful person, who does love God, who does work, pay taxes, and is a moral person, even if you personally don't necessarily agree with what his sexual preference may be, Would you have a problem with that?
I probably wouldn't have a problem with that, but I think the Scouts need to understand that a significant percentage of people that are in Scouting are going to have a problem with it. And when, I think over the years, I think much to a lesser extent in the Catholic Church, but there have been issues where Scout masters, or I'm not really that good on the org chart, so I don't understand exactly what it is, but have been caught, molesting young boys. And the first time that happens with an openly gay Scoutmaster, and it'll happen sooner or later just because there's millions of kids involved, the percentages and statistics, this is going to blow up in everybody's face, so they need to be prepared for this to happen. My son is still very new at this, and he's a wolf, which means he's like year 3 or 2 or 3. There are several young boys in his class that do have come from single parent homes. And I think it is good because they get to, a lot of the dads are really involved and they get to do stuff that their mom may not know how to do. The knife stuff, some of the sporting stuff and the camping stuff. So we haven't gotten to the morality stage yet, and I never made it very far in Scouts. I only lasted about 2 months. So I haven't seen where the morality part of the curriculum comes into play, but I certainly have not experienced any sort of anti-homosexual bias at any meeting. I haven't seen
I mean, I was held out of the Scouts because of that. My mom would not allow me to be a Scout because she thought, and this was 30-some years ago, she wouldn't allow me to be a Scout because she thought that the whole thing was kind of hokey about how you had so many men and boys around each other. She thought it was unnatural.
Understood. Liz, let me ask you something. Do you have any concerns as an attorney that the fact that a specific group of people have been excluded by dicta from this organization for so long, how is it that we're at this point and no legal challenges have seemed to work where maybe there is an openly homosexual male who challenges the aspect that he cannot be openly homosexual and serve as a troop leader? Does that give you some
Well, the Boy
concern?
Scouts did take it to the Supreme Court, and
Okay.
they won.
Okay.
So they have the right to make their own rules. They're their own organization. I don't support that rule, and I'm glad that the discussion is being made now that they're even entertaining this. But I find it ironic that they have a board member from Ernst & Young who was the best, voted the best employer by a gay association. And I think that the times are changing, and it is time to move forward. But they do have that right in this country, and that's what makes America great. If you don't like it, you can join another organization. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen in the sense that people want to be Scouts, and even if they have concerns about Scouting. But Scouting is going to be in a position now where they're going to have to make some major changes, or they're going to lose a lot of members.
With that, I appreciate you for joining us. We thank you. We will certainly continue to monitor this issue. And again, thank you for joining our show. We look forward to speaking with you the next time.